Hello, welcome to the next session at Beyond the Black, and hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McKechnie. I lead our BlackLine practice at RGP, and really have the pleasure of introducing one of our clients, Deckers brand, and what we are going to do today is if the shoe fits, and why BlackLine was the right choice for Deckers. And so I will ask Rahesh to introduce himself, and then I will tee up as we go into our slides. Rahesh.
Thanks, Steve. I'm Rahesh Ramesh from Deckers Brands, and being part of the lead in the finance processes and system optimization team in Deckers. And we have taken the journey of BlackLine. Steve, to you.
Thank you. And one of the reasons, and thank you, Rahesh, one of the reasons we wanted Rahesh to share his journey, his BlackLine journey, with everyone today is that the journey began well before the BlackLine implementation started. And so we've asked Rahesh to share the journey that he has led Deckers on, and we hope that everyone will find it useful, helpful, and very relevant to what many of you are going through now. So Rahesh, I hand it off to you, sir. Thank you.
BlackLine's transactional matching way in 2016 when we felt our bank reconciliations were taking a lot of time and was very manual. And we glad we held on to the BlackLine's transaction matching, and that really expedited our matching percentage and also the time that takes to conduct a BlackLine bank rec. And that was a very nicely set benchmark for us to go forward and see how we can automate our period close and transition away from spreadsheets. So in 2020, when we started that journey of trying to automate our month-end recs, is where this BlackLine's transaction matching worked as a catalyst for us to see the time that we have saved. And we started to take that journey there. And currently we do have around 50 to 80 global users across EMEA, APAC, and North America. And what did we do is we first assessed where we are, including what systems we can use, even though we did have BlackLine for our recon purposes, but we also wanted to make sure we assess where we are on our inventory of systems, identify and evaluate the options available to us, and then we wanted to see what would be the best path for us in not only now, but at least to make sure that in the near future, how this is going to help us. That's where we begin our journey, and we started to assess where we are. And when we looked at the BlackLine transactional matching has been very successful for all our direct to consumer bank recs, which means transactional matching, which are millions of transactions. That really gave a jump start for us to think about BlackLine. And we do use Oracle as our ERP system. And we globally have around 1,500 reconciliations that's performed. And of course, everything was exclusively done on spreadsheets. So what we did is we wanted to make sure what is our requirements. We wanted to document our requirements, validate our requirements, bring all the requirements together globally and standardize them, which is one of our corporate strategy and our controller's vision was always to have a standardized follow the sun method, and also to make sure the close is automated. And we developed some key use cases which we felt that if we are able to make sure that the product and the team implementing can demonstrate their skill or the product's capability on those use cases, we knew that we had the right product and the right partner to implement. With that, we had some potential options. Of course, the best option is don't do anything, which is just keep the existing spreadsheets, which was totally against our corporate strategy and the vision of our controller. And he always was mentioning how every day we can do our close, a daily close. And the other two options we had was, of course, the BlackLine, which we already knew was helping in our bank rec, and Oracle, our ERP, which also had a product for account rec. And we had some demos conducted by product teams and also by different implementation partners. And based on those demos, we could finally validate that it makes more sense and proper usage of our existing BlackLine system is what was determined on the product. And on the partners, we finally could decide on RGP being our partner for implementing the account track and the task management. And based on these, we as a key stakeholders were involved, and I think we currently, I can say, we did select the right product and the right partner for us.
I'm going to brag on you because you are so humble. I just want everyone to know that you did a fantastic job really being very deliberate in preparing those use cases and doing solution demos, not just a product demo, but really driving the use cases that were key and critical to Deckers. Not just a generic one, but you guys really did a fantastic job building out those use cases, because what you wanted to make what was important to Deckers important to your solution provider, be it Oracle, BlackLine, whatever, whomever. You did a great job really driving that out so that they would minimize surprises later. So I'm not trying to embarrass you, just applauding what you and your team did, and as a inflection or lesson learned, if you will, for those in this session. So you did a fantastic job, and I know that at times it would sort of seem lengthy or maybe protracted for some folks, but it was absolutely necessary for you and your team to do that due diligence, again, aligning with the stakeholders, aligning with the corporate strategies to get done what needed to be done. So yes, I'm bragging on you, and I hope you will forgive me for doing so in front of thousands of people.
Thanks for appreciating our team on that. And we always had one mantra with us: what we ask is what we see, and what we see is what we get. So we wanted to make sure we really are okay with what we see and what we get. So thanks for that point. Yeah, I agree with you. That was key. Yes, what we did, best choice for Deckers. Yes, BlackLine. We selected BlackLine, and today, after 7-8 months, I think I can say we as an organization are really happy where we are on what we selected for our account rec, and it really gels well with our bank rec. So it's still an onward journey, but I think we are at a very good spot where now we can really evolve ourselves for and make sure we align with our controller's vision of trying to make sure to have all our direct-to-consumer businesses getting closed on a daily basis, or have month end done on day one or max on day three. And the BlackLines was really fitting for what we wanted as functionally, as rightly mentioned by Steve. Our use cases were appropriately demonstrated, so we felt it a nice one. And today, we really are happy where we are. With further evolvement, I think this is the right one we did. And the solution has been scalable for us. And I think in the later stage, we do have some results of our implementation, but the scalability was there as to make sure that any number of new recs happen, we should be able to increase our efficiency there. What we did as key actions, the management group and the key users, I would say all our accounting managers globally, were all aligned on not only the path forward, but also on the standardization of what should be in our account rec. And we did, that was a very good step for us, as that was our base, which helped us to go smoothly in our implementation. And RGP had been a very good partner for us in this journey. As I always say, any implementation, it cannot be possible without both the sides having that same vision and same path. And I think here I would really want to compliment RGP team for sharing our vision and really adapting themselves to what we want. I know there have been times when we were little out of the box, or we were looking in a different direction for being as much as possible automated. But really appreciate RGP for standing by our team and really going that extra mile to get that automated. And I know we bent few things, but we made it happen. Thanks, Steve and team, on that.
Continues to be, and it's been great. For those who are curious, how did we do this? What we did with recs and tasks, or account reconciliations and task management. Well, we have RGP, we have a standard implementation approach, but like Rahesh said, we work with our clients, we adapt, we adjust. So collaborated with Deckers and adjusted our activities and pace for what was important to Deckers. You know, sharing the vision, like Rahesh said, keep the eyes on the goal. And so that vision, very much a very user-focused global rollout. And so based on, and really leaning on Rahesh a lot, what works, what doesn't work with that user community. And so as part of that, adjusted the plan from standard, which is great, and then leveraged our SMEs, they're both BlackLine as well as industry experience throughout the effort. And then part of this, and this is where Rahesh was just so great, at ensuring we had that constant alignment, constant communication in the change leadership. Much more than, say, just what a lot of folks think change management is. This is really change leadership, driving it, overcoming obstacles, removing excuses, if you will, but really making sure that people understand what's being done, why it's being done, and why they are a key and critical part of it. And so here we have, it was about 10 weeks or so where we went from initiating to the design blueprinting, configuration, also working with Deckers IT department and team on the integration. and then really spending, get some time on the system admin training, and Wing was fantastic, and still is, and then getting things aligned, but really spending a good bit of time on the integration, the training, all of it to ensure we have a good go-live, and then we spent some time doing the post-go-live user care, and so really having that close support. And so this was how we adjusted to what was important to Deckers, how we shared that vision to best ensure success. And so with that success, here we go. So I'm gonna start, and then Rahesh and I'll go back and forth here. Within 2 months of go live, over 50% of those monthly reconciliations were automated. And that was one of the themes. And you heard it here as Rahesh was speaking on the journey: automation, automation, automation. And so within 2 months of go live, over 50% of the monthly reconciliations were automated, which is fantastic. So Rahesh, keep going. We're going to brag on your folks some more.
I mean, now as we speak, it's even more, and our target is being to hit more than 85% of our reconciliations to be automated, but currently we are evolving as we move on. But and the key here, I know we moved on to this slide, but I just wanted to say this result was also possible thanks to our IT team too, having helped partnering us in our internal IT team, which helped us in getting some of the automation integrated, and we were able to achieve that. And what did happen is, one thing that was very clear is no one should have an Excel sheet for reconciliation. So any reconciliation was compulsorily in BlackLine. So that was one for sure, which we achieved in this implementation. There could be some schedule which could be in Excel sheet because of the scheduled Excel sheet in BlackLine, but the recon was always in BlackLine. And we did not have any major defects at or after go live. And here I want to really point out a few things. Is one, the UAT. Where what we had achieved here was, of course, the tweak in the timeline that Steve just showed earlier, and they adapted to our need. Is we made sure that our UAT is appropriate and we could really run through 1 month end. So, and thanks to all our users and our managers who wanted to do that, they spent some time, at least 2 weeks, to just do a real month end in UAT, which is what helped us when we went live. It was actually 1 month end done in UAT. So this was something they were doing like a second month when they went live. And that adaptation by RGP was very good. This really helped us on the real time and increased visibility throughout the close for us. Steve?
I was going to compliment in dedicated users. You were key and critical, Rahesh, to making that happen. In that that the BlackLine implementation was a priority for them. It was not an afterthought, or if they have time for it. They were dedicated and key and critical to UAT, and it helped reinforce some of the training that they had gone through. And so it was a fantastic job on your part, the executive team, really helping the user community really be engaged throughout, and then and with UAT it went so well because they were dedicated. It was fantastic. And then as part of this also, really it gave real-time visibility into the close. Again, away from the spreadsheets, away from emails, but being able to see real-time, how are we doing? Knowing, how have we automated? Where are we behind? Is somebody ahead? How do we do workload balancing? So really having that real-time visibility, which then leads into this next one here, which really let the system do the work so that the people can do the value-add work.
Agree with you. And that was the point, and I think people could appreciate that, and also could other people who have used BlackLine in other implementations and when they had been using here in our company, I think they could also appreciate the amount of reduction of manual effort that has brought into the team is a huge benefit to all of us. And I think this really adds even the work-life balance to the team.
Excellent. Well, how about we share some lessons learned, Rahesh? And they're all really good ones. And I'm bragging on you on this first one. Have to. The sponsorship, the leadership that you brought was key and critical. I mean, the users, the stakeholders, you kept them constantly engaged, constantly informed. You helped our team understand, hey, we may need to spend a little bit more time here. We may need to communicate a little differently there. And it was a great partnership throughout. And so sponsorship is always key on a project, especially transformative ones like this one. And you were key and critical to making sure that that happened. You really put on that mantle of leadership, if you will, to help drive the change, but really do it in a fantastic way where folks wanted to be a part of this journey with you, with the rest of the team. And that had to be the first lesson learned. We need folks like you are invaluable. So yes, you may be blushing, I'm sorry, but I really wanted to brag on you again on this one, Rahesh.
Steve, the key, yes, the users themselves were a leader in them, within them. Everyone, that's why you rightly used the word, it was not change management, it was change leadership. So each individual led themselves to the change, and it was very easy for me to have a team like that and get this done. And believe me, there were totally 50 people in the team, and each and everyone were adapting this easily. And yes, we maintained focus on the goal of our controller that we need to really get automated. The word automation was the mantra there. And we did invest a lot of time in UAT and training the users, thanks to RGP for putting a specific handbook for us, not just a common user guide, but you did step up and gave us the specific hand guide for Deckers, and that was very useful. Thanks for that, Steve, for adapting.
Welcome. We don't do that for just everyone, but that goes back to that adjustment because you knew what the user community needed. You knew what was successful at Deckers, and that was a great part of collaborating and getting done what you knew needed to be done for this project and this effort, and most importantly, the people to be successful.
Agree. And finally, one thing that we learned is it's not what we have, where we are on the implementation and how we are using it. The next thing is what are we going to do to evolve ourselves, move towards more auto certification and move towards more auto preparation. And that's the key for us is get auto certified as much as possible and auto prepare as much as possible. And I think that's where we are in our continuous improvement, that we are marching towards that, and we make sure that we keep on increasing that.
Agreed. The journey doesn't end, it just gets better and better.
Right.
And so want to just thank everyone for being here. If you wish, here you can reach out to Rahesh or myself. Our contact information is here. And just really appreciate everyone being on the call today. And I'm going to do a very brief commercial about RGP. This is who we are, what we do. We have been a BlackLine partner since 2006. And a lot of our folks, in fact, almost all of them are very experienced, and love to share the journey with you, share our experiences in a very collaborative way to do so. Most of all, want to thank Rahesh, thank Deckers for the opportunity to have served them with this project, and look forward to what comes next as things continue to progress forward. And again, thank you, everyone, and hope you have a fantastic rest of the day.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, El.